Hello, I'm Jake Boudrot, Civic Journalist at Tello Community Television. In this episode of Strait Talk, I attended a workshop that took place on January 23rd at the Petit de Grat Campus of l'Université Saint-Anne that was hosted by Vericatch, which is introducing a new electronic logging system to be used by fishers in the upcoming seasons. I'm here with Mark Hippern, Senior Manager Business Development with Vericatch, who is among those conducting workshops around the Maritimes with fishers about electronic logbooks. Perhaps you can start by talking about your company, what it does, and maybe get into what your job is.
Sure, certainly. So Vericatch, we build software, catch reporting software for commercial fisheries. The software is used around the world. It's highly configurable, which puts us in a good position to be part of the electronic logbook rollout program that DFO is currently going through. So I was brought on. We have an office in Vancouver. I was brought on here on the East Coast to ramp up operations and get out and meet with harvesters around the region to bring them up to speed on what we can do to help them best support their enterprises.
With these workshops, what is it you're kind of doing? You're just explaining to them how this works and why it's beneficial to them, type of thing?
Yeah, it's an information session, and then I'm gonna help them get set up. So for some harvesters, depending on where and what they fish, e-logs will become mandatory for them this spring. So if they want to get set up, I'll lead them through that process, and also some training on the software, and some just help build some education and awareness around the program and how it's being rolled out.
So you mentioned that Fisheries and Oceans Canada is now requiring electronic logbooks or e-logs for the crab and lobster fisheries. E-logs will replace paper logbooks, streamlining data entry for harvesters and ensuring faster data delivery to resource managers for improved decision making. They said this is an important move towards better managed commercial fisheries. What are these e-logs? How do they work?
So the e-log is an electronic version of the paper logbook that they've been using for decades. It's often can be used on their phone. It can be used on a tablet. It can be used on a computer as well, but usually it's a mobile device, and it replaces paper. So they might have it in their pocket. They may have it in the wheelhouse, wherever they want to have it secured. It won't necessarily take up a bunch of space, but it is a change in technology and how they've been doing their catch reporting from the past several decades potentially.
So, rather than inputting the information in on a piece of paper, they just put it in this. It's fairly easy to use. And
yeah, so our challenge and what we strive for is to make it as easy to use while still meeting the requirements of fisheries and oceans. So the data that used to get put in on paper and then sent in after a certain period of time, and then someone else would digitize that, and then it would be used for fisheries management decisions or science. There was a long gap. That data there was multiple opportunities for human error, and it was outdated by the time it was become usable. So now this fisheries data will be available within days, maybe very close to real time, so that it can lead to better fisheries management decisions. It also empowers the harvester when they do have a meeting with DFO or a negotiation. They've got their data and they can present it, versus what's often happened is it'd be a room full of fishermen and their stories against DFO and science and their data. And now the fishermen will be armed with valuable data as well.
And getting it faster also means that you're getting results, you're getting data faster as well too, which is quite obvious, I guess, in terms of fisheries.
Yeah, that should be beneficial to both sides. Yeah.
So Vericatch said the sessions will cover personal e-log setup support and training, as well as setup of e-logs ahead of the fishing seasons, and will provide answers to e-log questions. Maybe you can elaborate on what this means as far as from the fisherman's point of view.
Yeah, so for anyone that wants to get set up or learn how to use it or ask the questions, it's a much better time to do that now, where they've got some time to learn it. If they wait until the last minute, it's going to likely feel a bit more stressful that, oh, I have to learn this new technology. I'm running out of time. Maybe it's difficult. Whereas now you have some time to learn it. It's really not that difficult. And as you get to learn it, the software gets to know how you fish and the Vericatch solution will actually populate most of the answers for you, other than ones that we don't know necessarily what you caught that day. You'll still need to put that in, but where you fish and what you're fishing for and stuff will start to auto populate. So, but the opportunity to get out, ask questions, see how the software works, and in some cases still influence how it comes to market, because we are always working on our software. We're always taking feedback from harvesters, and we put out a new release every quarter approximately, and that will often include maybe a minor upgrade that was a suggestion of a harvester, or it may include a new species, but we're always taking that feedback. It's very important to us.
What kind of feedback are you receiving from the sessions you've had so far? What kind of questions are you?
I think it would be as you'd expect. So there are people that would rather not change. There are people that are nearing the twilight of their career that would prefer to not have to deal with a change or a new technology. Maybe their business is going to be handed down to their son or daughter. Maybe they're selling and retiring. And they would maybe rather not deal with it. But there's a generation that is thankful that it's fine. I've got my phone in my pocket all the time. Filling in a piece of paper on a moving wet boat is just not accurate. It's a pain, and there's a lot of room for errors. So that generation and that segment of the market who's very open-minded to making the change, being very easy. It's a device they use quite often. They're looking forward to it.
In a December 5th press release, Vericatch said mandatory e-logs will also be rolled out in select fisheries in the Maritimes region and Newfoundland and Labrador in the spring. The mandatory adoption will continue to roll out for other fisheries throughout 2025 and 2026. Vericatch said it offers the only e-log app in Canada and is nationally certified for both lobster and crab, as well as groundfish, including redfish, cod, turbot and halibut, small pelagics, including mackerel, herring, alewife, capelin, and smelts, whelk, bivalve mollusks, and squid, salmon, and shrimp to be qualified shortly. Why only selected fisheries and not all fisheries in this?
As far as the rollout?
Yes.
So that's dictated by DFO. My interpretation is they want to have some success, and they can't just widespread put it out. It would just be too heavy a lift. So let's have some success in selected fisheries, make sure the program works well, and then use that success to roll it out to others.
Now, it noted that shrimp will be qualified soon. I assume that's a decision of DFO, and it's hard to say when that would be qualified. Would it be like next year or soon?
So that our shrimp solution we expect it to be available in March. The way that it works is DFO publishes a specification that a software provider like Vericatch needs to meet. We need to send a package to them that shows that we believe we meet the software. They take a specified, usually 4 to 6 weeks to actually go through and decide, yes, it does meet. And if that's the case, they'll give us the stamp, and then we're free to provide that to the market. So we're in that stage now for shrimp.
Vericatch said it will support all commercial fisheries requiring e-logs by the time they are mandatory, as 2024 marks the final year for paper logbooks in many lobster and crab fisheries. Vericatch urges harvesters to adopt e-logs now. Starting early means fewer headaches during the busy fishing season, and harvesters can streamline catch reporting and gain a competitive edge. You noted there are some fishers that have some apprehensions about this, but you also noted it's not really that big of a change. Most people have their phones already and things like that, and possibly it might be just a matter of kind of getting over the idea of change, but once it's implemented, people will probably find it a lot easier to use.
Yes, I think so. For instance, we're talking to there's some skippers that will tell us, I don't even have a phone, or I have a flip phone, I don't have a smartphone, I don't read, I don't write. There's a full spectrum of of reasons that people might not be interested. But we're finding ways they'll often, sometimes if the captain will often have his wife that does his paperwork. She could be the one that fills out the e-log, or there's a younger harvester on the boat. They'll hand them off to that part. The actual entering of the information once the account is set up is quite simple. It's really just capturing some dates and times of when we're doing the fishing and what we're catching. There's not a great deal of information, especially once your account is properly set up, and that's what we're out helping people do.
So you're holding a workshop here in Petit de Grat, the Petit de Grat campus of the Université Saint-Anne, and this is January 24th. You're also having a workshop in Little Harbor, I believe. Is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning at Lobsters R Us at 10, yes.
Okay. And what takes place after these workshops? Once you guys have held these workshops, gotten this input and all that, what's the next stage?
So the next stage could be, if somebody signs up, they'll be ready to go. They may be just learning about it and then want to reach out to us afterwards for maybe a bit more help, or check out some of our support that's available online through our website and YouTube. They may want to wait, or see the people that they did see sign up. Maybe I'll get some feedback from them. But it's mostly about getting out. For me, it's about getting out to the communities, building some relationships, giving them someone to call if they want to call somebody.
Next year at this time, you'll have some people that have been using the e-log, some people that may not, but the hope is that everyone will be using it. And there might be, I suppose, some hiccups here and there with the implementation of it, people getting used to using it, but over time, this is going to be something that every fisherman and fisherwoman is going to have.
That's what it sounds like, and we just want to try and help make that transition as seamless and stress-free as possible. With any change, there can be hiccups, and we're prepared as our team to support those. So when someone needs help, we'll provide some help. But yeah, the move from DFO's perspective is that all commercial fisheries will become mandatory. That's our understanding, and so we're doing our best to get out, make that as easy for harvesters as possible.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking time. I know your workshop is about to begin, and I appreciate you speaking with me and our viewers.
Terrific. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you for watching Strait Talk. Please tune in again to find out what we will be talking about.